Today we will talk about followership. This chapter emphasizes the essential role of followers in the leadership process, highlighting that leadership cannot exist without followership. While previous discussions focused on inclusive leadership, this chapter shifts to the significance of followers who actively shape the leadership relationship. Traditionally, society has favored leadership over followership, often viewing the latter negatively. This bias is reflected in education and job applications, where leadership qualities are prioritized. Historically, research on followership has been limited, with a focus on leaders as the primary agents of change. However, recent discussions and key works have started to elevate the study of followership, presenting it as a vital area of inquiry. The chapter outlines definitions of followers and followership, typologies of followership styles, and formal theories, including contributions from Bean and others. It also addresses how ineffective followership can lead to destructive leadership, underscoring the need for a balanced understanding of both roles and leadership dynamics. Defining followership is complex, as it carries both positive and negative connotations depending on the context. For instance, followership is valued in military settings or during orderly processes like boarding a plane. Conversely, it can have negative implications in situations involving cults or dangerous group behaviors, such as hazing. Followership is described as a process where individuals accept the influence of others to achieve a common goal, typically involving a power imbalance between leaders and followers. This relationship is not morally neutral. It includes ethical responsibilities. Followers must consider the morality of their actions and their consequences, as their behavior significantly affects both leaders and organizational outcomes. Thus, followers share a moral obligation with leaders in pursuing their collective goals. Okay, followership can be categorized into two main types: role-based and relational-based. Role-based followership. This perspective focuses on the specific roles or behaviors followers exhibit within a hierarchical system. For instance, in a planning meeting, engaged followers may contribute positively by providing energy and insightful suggestions. This approach emphasizes how follower roles and behaviors impact leaders and organizational outcomes. Relational-based followership. In contrast, this approach is rooted in social constructivism, which posits that meaning is created through interactions. Here, followership is seen as co-created between leaders and followers, with the dynamics of influence and response being central. Instead of focusing on roles, this perspective highlights the interpersonal processes involved in followership and leadership, emphasizing the continuous interplay of influence in their relationship. Okay, now how can we describe followers' roles? Various researchers have attempted to categorize followers' behaviors into distinct roles to create a typology that can provide a deeper understanding of followership. One of the earliest typologies was developed by Zeleznik in 1965, aiming to assist both leaders in comprehending followers and followers in potentially becoming leaders themselves. Zeleznik's model categorizes followers based on two axes: dominance, submission, and activity, passivity. This matrix identifies four types of followers: withdrawn, submissive, passive; masochistic, submissive, active; compulsive, highly dominant, passive; and impulsive, highly dominant, active. Rooted in psychoanalytic theory, Zeleznik's typology reflects followers' responses to inner conflicts regarding authority. explaining communication breakdowns between leaders and followers. These follower types emerge from followers' varying attitudes towards control and activity levels within the leadership dynamic. Kelly's typology, considered the most prominent followership typology, emphasizes the significant value that followers bring to organizations, often overlooked in comparison to leadership. Kelly's work has been instrumental in promoting the study of followership and highlighting the importance of understanding followers within the leadership process. Unlike Zeleznik's focus on personal aspects of followers, Kelly's typology centers on followers' motivations and behaviors. He positions followership as equally important to leadership, examining the traits that characterize exemplary followership. Kelly categorizes follower styles along two axes: independent critical thinking, dependent and critical thinking, and active passive. This classification results in 5 follower role types. Passive followers look to the leader for direction and motivation. Conformist followers support the leader but still rely on the leader for guidance. Alienated followers think independently and often display negative energy. Pragmatist followers support the status quo but wait for others to follow suit. Exemplary followers active, positive, and offer constructive criticism independently. Kelly asserts that effective followers possess indispensable qualities, including self-management, commitment to organizational goals, competence building, and ethical behavior. He reframes followership in a positive light, highlighting the constructive dimensions of following rather than portraying it negatively. Chalef's work focuses on amplifying the importance of followers in the leadership process through the development of a typology that addresses the dynamics of followership. His motivation stemmed from a profound moment in his youth, when he questioned why people followed leaders like Adolf Hitler during the Holocaust, leading him to explore how followers could prevent leaders from abusing their power. Contrary to traditional views where followers serve leaders, Chalef argues that followers and leaders should align towards a common purpose and work together to achieve shared goals. He advocates for followers to take a proactive role, equal to that of leaders, by encouraging them to be more responsible, change their self-perceptions, and enhance their sense of agency. Chalef's prescriptive approach emphasizes the importance of courage for followers. He outlines 5 key aspects of courageous followership: assuming responsibility, supporting the leader and organization, constructively challenging the leader, advocating for change when necessary, and taking a moral stand to prevent ethical abuse. His follower typology, based on courageous followership, delineates 4 styles of followers: resource low support, low challenge, individualist low support, high challenge, implementer high support, low challenge, and partner high support, high challenge. Partner followers who exhibit both strong support and the courage to challenge the leader when needed are seen as ideal followers who take responsibility, support the leader, and are willing to challenge when necessary. Kellerman's typology of followers, developed from her insights as a political scientist, challenges the traditional focus on leaders by emphasizing the underestimated importance of followers in the leadership dynamic. She categorizes followers based on their level of engagement, ranging from detached isolates to highly committed diehards, highlighting different degrees of involvement and dedication towards leaders and group goals. The typologies by Zeleznik, Kelly, Chalef, and Kellerman collectively shed light on the diverse characteristics and behaviors of followers within the leadership process. They serve as a foundation for research, defining key variables in followership studies and showcasing the various ways followers have been categorized from passive to proactive roles. These typologies the significance of followers and provide a framework for understanding follower behaviors. They distinguish different types of followers, such as active engaged, independent assertive, submissive compliant, and supportive conforming, enabling leaders to adapt their approaches based on follower characteristics. By categorizing individuals engaged in the leadership process, these typologies elevate the role of followers and facilitate improved leader-follower communication. They mark the beginning of theory building around followership, setting the stage for further exploration and understanding of followers' roles within organizational dynamics. Albeen and her colleagues in 2014 delve into the concept of followership and aim to provide a comprehensive understanding of this often overlooked aspect of leadership. They define followership as the characteristics, behaviors, and processes of individuals in relation to leaders, emphasizing the interactive nature of the follower-leader dynamic in shaping leadership outcomes. Their formal theory of followership comprises four main constructs: followership characteristics, leadership characteristics, followership behaviors, and leadership behaviors. Followership characteristics pertain to follower attributes like traits and motivations, while leadership characteristics focus on leader attributes such as power and perceptions of followers. Followership behaviors encompass how followers respond to leaders, while leadership behaviors involve how leaders influence followers. Followership outcomes are the results stemming from these interactions, affecting individuals, leaders, relationships, and the overall leadership process. To elucidate the relationships between these constructs, Albeen presents two theoretical frameworks: reversing the lens and the leadership co-created process. These frameworks offer models for understanding the dynamics of followership, highlighting the reciprocal influence between followers and leaders in shaping leadership processes and outcomes. Reversing the lens is an innovative approach to followership that focuses on the influence followers have on leaders and organizational outcomes, rather than the traditional emphasis on how leaders affect followers. This method highlights the agency of followers, positioning them as active change agents within the leadership dynamic. The approach consists of several key components. First, it examines how the characteristics of followers, such as their personality traits, impact their behaviors in the workplace. Second, it explores the ways in which these behaviors influence leaders' perceptions and actions, creating a reciprocal relationship. Lastly, it looks at how the combined effects of followers' behaviors and leaders' perceptions contribute to overall followership outcomes. For instance, in research conducted within a non-profit organization, scholars might investigate the relationship between employees' personality traits, like introversion or extroversion, and their work behaviors. Additionally, they could analyze how these behaviors affect their supervisors' leadership styles and the broader follower-leader relationship. Ultimately, this approach underscores the significance of followers in shaping the followership process, emphasizing their vital role in organizational dynamics. Okay. The leadership co-created process is a theoretical approach that emphasizes leadership as a mutual, interactive process between leaders and followers. Rather than viewing followership as a subordinate role, This framework sees leadership as co-created through the dynamic exchange of leading, influencing, and following, granting or challenging influence behaviors. Leadership outcomes emerge from this interaction. An example is the relationship between Coach Smith and Jason, a student athlete. During the summer, they worked as equals, painting houses, influencing and following each other's suggestions. However, when football practice resumed, the informal dynamic caused tension. Jason continued treating Smith as a peer, which risked undermining Smith's authority. Through communication, they agreed that Jason would address him as Coach Smith during school to maintain team structure. This example illustrates how leadership and followership behaviors shift depending on context, and how leadership is a shared, situational process rather than a fixed role. Researchers studying this model focus on how such interactions shape leadership effectiveness. Perspective 1. Followers get the job done. Research on followership is advancing, highlighting the crucial role followers play in organizations. Carsten in 2014 contribute to this evolving field by not only enhancing organizational understanding of followers, but also emphasizing the positive aspects of followership and offering practical perspectives. One key perspective presented is that followers are instrumental in accomplishing tasks within organizations. This contrasts with the historical focus on leadership, termed The Romance of Leadership by Meindl in 1995, which overemphasized the significance of leaders while downplaying the contributions of followers. By shifting the focus to followers, leadership is viewed as a collective effort among followers influenced by how they perceive and react to leadership. This shift in perspective de-emphasizes leader-centric views of organizational change and underscores the impact of followers' behaviors on organizational outcomes. Followers are recognized as central figures responsible for executing the group's mission and driving the organization forward. Consequently, there is a call for increased attention to the qualities such as personalities, cognitive abilities, interpersonal skills, and problem-solving capabilities of followers to better understand their role and contributions within organizations. Perspective 2. Followers work in the best interest. Proactive followers, while not representative of all followers, are dedicated to advancing the goals of their group or organization. Unlike passive followers who simply obey their leaders, proactive followers take initiative in ways that align with the organization's objectives, prioritizing these goals over those of their leaders. Their proactive approach serves as a safeguard against leaders who may act in self-serving or unethical ways. By placing the organization's interests ahead of individual leaders' agendas, proactive followers play a crucial role in maintaining integrity and accountability within the organization. For instance, if a cabinet member in the United States government is asked by the president to undertake an action solely benefiting the president, a proactive follower might refuse, arguing that the request does not serve the best interests of the country. In this manner, proactive followers serve as a check and balance on the leader's power, preventing potential abuses and ensuring that decisions are made in the organization's best interests. Their proactive stance helps to keep the organization at the forefront, promoting ethical behavior and contributing to the overall well-being and success of the organization. Perspective 3. Followers change leaders. Effective followers are characterized by their engagement, activity, and willingness to challenge leaders. These proactive followers can significantly enhance organizational effectiveness, especially when they possess knowledge that leaders may lack. By providing alternative perspectives, they help ensure that leaders remain aligned with the organization's mission. In his framework of authentic followership, D. Zilwer in 2014 emphasizes the relational dynamics between leaders and followers, arguing that followership is a proactive choice. Authentic followers think critically and assertively rather than blindly following leaders. They are self-aware and prioritize the needs of the organization, which ultimately enhances the leader's effectiveness. An illustrative example involves Amy Malley, a college student who challenged her professor, Dr. Orville, about her final grade. Confident that she had performed well, Amy insisted that there was an error. After a thorough discussion, Dr. Orville discovered that he had mistakenly graded her exam incorrectly. This led him to correct her grade and recalculate the scores for the entire class. Amy's proactive challenge not only benefited her, but also improved the outcomes for all students and highlighted the importance of authentic followership. Perspective 4. Followers support the leader. In addition to challenging leaders, it is crucial for followers to provide support, as this validation helps advance an organization's mission. When followers affirm a leader's intentions, it enhances the leader's credibility and strengthens their position within the group. For instance, in a small group setting, support for an individual's ideas can help them gain traction, whereas a lack of support can lead to feelings of disconfirmation and reduced confidence. Supportive followers act like lieutenants, legitimizing the leader's ideas and facilitating their acceptance among others. An example of the negative impact of insufficient support can be seen in Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer's handling of the COVID-19 crisis. Despite issuing a mandate to close businesses statewide, she struggled to secure enough backing from the state legislature, which undermined her authority and the effectiveness of her measures. This illustrates how essential follower support is for leaders to effectively implement their ideas and initiatives. Okay, the last one is perspective 5. Followers learn from leaders. A beneficial aspect of followership is that it offers individuals valuable insights into leadership. By following, individuals can observe leadership practices without the burdens of responsibility, allowing them to discern effective and ineffective methods. This learning experience can be instrumental if they later assume leadership roles. For example, in teacher training programs, aspiring teachers engage in student teaching, where they work alongside certified teachers in real classroom settings. This allows them to observe the dynamics of teaching and learning without the full responsibility of managing the classroom. Through this followership experience, student teachers can develop their skills and competencies, ultimately preparing them for future leadership roles in education. Thus, being a follower serves as a crucial learning opportunity for those who aim to become leaders. In fact, this chapter has primarily focused on effective followership, highlighting how followers can support leaders and help achieve organizational goals. However, there is also a dark side to followership, where followers can exhibit unproductive and harmful behaviors. Research by Shins, Wyss, and Sanders in 2019 identifies followers with the dark triad traits, narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy, as likely to negatively impact their colleagues and the organization. These followers may engage in behaviors such as taking credit for others' work, manipulation, and bullying. Additionally, Passive or submissive followers can unintentionally enable toxic leadership by facilitating harmful leaders and creating unhealthy organizational environments. Jean Lippman-Blumen's work, The Allure of Toxic Leaders in 2005, explores why people follow destructive leaders despite their harmful traits. She identifies several psychological factors that drive followers to comply with toxic leaders, including a need for security, a desire to feel special, and fear of social ostracism. These needs contribute to unhealthy followership and can lead to detrimental outcomes for both the organization and the followers themselves. Our need for reassuring authority figures stems from early developmental stages and can persist into adulthood. Sigmund Freud's research highlights how individuals initially rely on parents for guidance and protection, shaping their dependence on authority figures. While maturing involves developing self-reliance, some individuals retain a strong desire for authoritative guidance. This need can render followers susceptible to manipulative leaders who exploit their dependency for personal gain. Individuals seeking reassurance from authority figures may exhibit vulnerability to abusive or destructive leaders who fulfill this need. For instance, a middle school student practicing excessively on a musical instrument to seek validation from a teacher exemplifies this dynamic. Exploitative leaders can capitalize on this need for approval, potentially pushing followers beyond reasonable limits to satisfy their own agenda. This underscores the importance of understanding how the need for reassurance can influence followership dynamics and leave individuals susceptible to manipulation within hierarchical structures. Our need for security and certainty. As individuals transition into adulthood, they often encounter uncertainty and disruption in their lives. Psychologists studying belief systems have found that people have a strong need for consistency and balance in their beliefs and attitudes. This drive for certainty can lead to stress in situations where individuals feel out of control. In such contexts, followers may become susceptible to unethical leaders who promise security and stability. An illustrative example can be seen with migrant workers from Mexico who come to the United States for employment on large produce farms. These workers are often promised good wages and decent housing. However, upon arrival, they may face grueling work conditions, long hours, and substandard living arrangements, compounded by high rents and additional fees for basic needs like drinking water. Many undocumented workers tolerate these harsh conditions because the fragile security of their meager income outweighs the uncertainty of returning to poverty in Mexico. This illustrates how the need for security can lead individuals to accept and endure unethical treatment from leaders. The need to feel chosen or special is a powerful psychological driver that can manifest in individuals seeking a sense of uniqueness and superiority. This desire to be singled out as special or favored by a higher authority has been historically emphasized by religious leaders like Moses and John Calvin, who propagated the idea of a select group of chosen individuals. Belonging to this elite circle of the chosen instills a sense of truth, superiority, and immortality, fostering a mindset that can lead to conflicts with those perceived as outsiders. Feeling chosen provides a sense of security and validation for followers, reinforcing their belief in their righteousness while dehumanizing those outside their group. This need to feel special can be seen in extreme ideologies like white supremacy, where adherents view themselves as superior to other races and religions, justifying discriminatory and inhumane treatment towards those they consider inferior. The reinforcement of being chosen underpins behaviors that perpetuate harmful attitudes and actions towards individuals deemed as others, highlighting the dangerous consequences of such beliefs on both followers and society as a whole. Our need to belong. Psychologist William Schutz in 1958 emphasized that a fundamental human need is to feel a sense of belonging within a group. Individuals seek to know whether they are included and acknowledged as part of a community. When groups function positively, this sense of belonging fosters acceptance, comfort, and value among members. However, this need can be exploited by destructive leaders who prey on individuals dependent on the group for personal meaning and purpose. Such followers may sacrifice their individuality, beliefs, and integrity to maintain their social connections. For example, numerous hazing incidents in fraternities and other organizations demonstrate how new members endure dangerous rituals to gain acceptance, highlighting the vulnerability of followers to harmful leadership when their need for belonging goes unchecked. Our fear of ostracism, isolation, and social death. When individuals join a group, they typically adopt its norms, values, and beliefs, finding comfort in the sense of community. However, this inclusion can create challenges, making it difficult to dissent or break away if the group's mission conflicts with personal values. The pressure to conform can stifle individual expression and discourage disagreement. Followers who challenge group norms or highlight negative behaviors, such as whistleblowers, risk ostracism and isolation. For instance, in a scenario where friends are bullying a classmate on the autism spectrum, an individual may struggle between speaking out against the behavior or remaining silent to avoid social exclusion. Being an ethical follower often requires the courage to act according to personal values, even at the risk of social rejection or social death. Finally, our fear of powerlessness to challenge. Followers can inadvertently empower destructive leaders due to feelings of helplessness in effecting change. Once integrated into a group, followers often face pressure to conform to group norms, making it challenging to challenge or oppose the leader's decisions. Despite witnessing inappropriate behavior or harm inflicted by the leader, followers may struggle to confront such actions, fearing the loss of the security and acceptance provided by the group. Speaking truth to power requires courage, yet followers may feel powerless to voice concerns in the presence of authority figures. While group membership offers benefits, it may inhibit individual agency, leading followers to hesitate in challenging leaders. The fear of repercussions and lack of support can deter followers from addressing unethical leadership practices, fostering an environment where destructive leaders flourish. The 6 psychological needs of followers identified by Lippmann-Blumen play a crucial role in shaping followers' interactions with leaders and the organization. When followers prioritize fulfilling these needs, they inadvertently create conditions that enable unethical and destructive leaders to thrive, highlighting the complex interplay between followership dynamics and the perpetuation of harmful leadership behaviors. Okay, now the question we need to answer is, how does followership work? The study of followership, unlike established leadership theories, is still in its early stages but offers valuable insights for practicing followership. By focusing on followership, we acknowledge the essential role followers play in organizational success, challenging the historical emphasis on leaders in leadership research. Followership highlights the significance of those who support and enable leaders, underscoring that effective leadership requires capable followers. Followership involves how individuals accept influence to achieve common goals, delineating the behaviors and characteristics of those who, despite having less power, are integral to the leadership process. Understanding follower typologies aids in comprehending how followers act in various situations, whether they support or challenge leaders, and how their actions impact organizational dynamics. Categorizing followers as dependent passive or proactive anti-authoritarian offers valuable insights for leaders to tailor their approach and communication strategies accordingly. Moreover, followership research sheds light on why harmful leadership behaviors persist unchecked. Followers and leaders are interdependent, influencing each other reciprocally. When leaders exhibit abusive conduct, followers are affected, but they may feel constrained in responding due to fears of losing group security. Recognizing their own vulnerabilities and needs, followers can better identify and address destructive leadership, fostering a more empowered and proactive approach to challenging unethical behavior within organizations. The evolution of followership research over the past 5 decades has brought to light its significance within the leadership paradigm. Followership studies have strengths that challenge traditional leadership-centric perspectives and emphasize the crucial role followers play in organizational success. 1. Equal importance of followership. Recent research elevates followership to an equal footing with leadership, emphasizing the impact followers have on group processes and goal attainment. It broadens our understanding of leadership by highlighting followers' attraction to leaders from different perspectives, such as psychoanalytic, cognitive psychological, and social psychological viewpoints. 2. Co-constructed leadership process. Followership literature advocates for a shift towards viewing leadership as a co-constructed process where followers and leaders share equal responsibility. Effective followership involves balancing individual needs with organizational goals, challenging leaders when necessary, and collaborating to achieve objectives. This approach underscores the importance of training followers alongside leaders for effective organizational functioning. 3. Prescriptions for effective followership. While still developing, followership research offers practical guidelines for effective followership behaviors. These guidelines suggest that effective followers act in the organization's best interests, challenge self-serving or unethical leadership, and collaborate with leaders to achieve common goals. Understanding implicit followership theory further sheds light on how leaders perceive ideal followers based on attributes like performance, loyalty, and cooperation. The study of followership, while possessing strengths, also faces several limitations. 1. Nascent research stage. Followership research is still developing, lacking advanced studies that clearly define followers and their contributions to leadership. This absence of robust theories makes it difficult to establish concrete principles regarding followership's role in organizations. 2. Anecdotal evidence. Much of the current literature is based on personal observations rather than rigorous research. While typologies of follower styles exist, they often stem from individual conjectures, limiting their validity and applicability until thoroughly tested. 3. Leader-centric orientation. The dominant focus on leaders in organizational contexts may hinder the growth of followership. For followership to thrive, both leaders and followers need to excel in their roles. Yet the prevailing mindset often views followers primarily as enablers of leaders. 4. Understanding motivation. research has not adequately addressed why individuals choose to follow, with critiques suggesting that evolutionary psychology might provide a better framework for understanding followership. This perspective considers the adaptive functions of followership in group dynamics. 5. Situational awareness. There is limited research on when followership is beneficial or detrimental. While followers are encouraged to be proactive, they must also be mindful of the context, as attempts to influence leaders can sometimes be perceived as disruptive if not timed appropriately. The concept of follow the leader captures the essence of followership, accepting a leader's authority and deciding how to respond to it. Followership research centers on understanding these responses and emphasizes that followers are just as crucial to success as leaders. It sheds light on the wide range of follower roles, from active and supportive to passive or resistant, and how these roles influence team dynamics and organizational effectiveness. The growing body of followership research also holds important potential for organizational training. Although not widely implemented yet, training programs focused on followership, such as how to be an effective follower or deal with challenging leaders, could significantly enhance team performance and employee engagement. Moreover, this research helps leaders better understand their followers and adapt their leadership styles accordingly. By recognizing the reasons behind different follower behaviors, leaders can respond in ways that promote trust, collaboration, and motivation.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to channel.